Right guys, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to another video. In this one I'm just going to be showing you how to fit your Shimano SLX M7000 rear derailleur to your bike. So let's go ahead, let's run through the steps. So here we have the derailleur, so I'll just show you a couple of things while it's off the bike, just so it makes it easier for you to see. So you've got your clutch lever there, obviously you want that set off, down like that, when you're fitting the derailleur, to make sure that's set off. Then you've got your mounting bolt there, so that's a 5mm hex head onto your derailleur hanger. Then on the other side you've got your tab there sticking out, what's going to touch onto the derailleur hanger itself and the back there. And you've got your pinch bolt for your cable goes in there, and you've got your pinch bolt, that's 4mm hex. And then you've got your screws at the back, so you've got your high screw up there, your low screw there. They're both 2mm hex heads. And then you've got your B screw, adjustment screw there, that's a 2mm. Then obviously your cable goes in, your outer cable goes in there, comes out there. So that's the derailleur, so we get that fitted. So first thing I'm going to do is, on the thread there of your mounting bolt, is put some anti-seize on there, just on there, before we mount it on. And then, like I said, it's 5mm hex head to mount it, so you just want to put it in there to start it off. Make sure you're not cross threading it or anything, should just go straight in. And then as you thread it in, if you just push down on it, so you just get it started like that, and then just push down, you'll feel it hit the stop like that, so it's hitting your derailleur hanger like that. So then just carry on, just hold it, and then just nip that up till it stops, and then we just torque that up. So tighten that up. You want to torque that up, 7Nm is adequate on that. So that's the derailleur mounted onto the actual hanger. So now we can go ahead and move on to the next step. So the next thing we need to do is the high and low adjustment screw. So the high screw is that one there, or hex head as it is. So what you want to do is look directly from behind. I'll try and put the camera as best I can, but the top, the guide wheel here, you want to look directly behind and then line that up using the high screw with the outside edge of the 11 tooth on the cassette there, the smallest one. So if you get on that high screw there, if you turn it clockwise, it moves this guide wheel over towards your spokes. So you want to turn it probably anti-clockwise, depending on where yours is. So you turn it anti-clockwise in this case. I'll just move it over so as it's, like I said, you want it sort of in line with the outside of the 11 tooth on the cassette there, so the smallest one. So once you've done that, set that, then what you can do is your low screw, which is this one down here. So to do that, you might have to push down on the cage of the derailleur and then push it across like that, so as it goes over. I'll just move the camera so you can see it better. So when you're holding down the cage on the derailleur like that and then pushing it across, as you can see, this one is stopping underneath the second largest at the rear on the cassette. So if you've got 42, 46, 40, whatever you've got as your largest on the rear cassette, then this one's stopping under the second one in. So that won't be any good, because you obviously it won't go any further than that when it's with the chain on. So what you want to do in that case is, with your low screw there, if you just get on that, so we just turn it, as you can see there, anti-clockwise a little bit at a time, like that, and that's moving it towards the spokes more, so to speak. So anti-clockwise is moving it towards the spokes, clockwise and move it the opposite direction. So So you just want to move it and keep doing that until it's underneath the 40 or 42, whatever your cassette you've got on the back, till it's underneath that one at the back there. So that's the high and low screws set. So we'll move on to the next stage. So the next thing to do is hook your cable up. So you've got a cable there like that, so you just put that down through the hole like so, and then put your outer cable with your end stop in the hole, and then slacken off your pinch bolt slightly, a few turns, so you can pass the cable down behind the plate like that and out. So you put that in there like that. So it's a 4mm hex to do this up. So what you want to do before you do this cable up is make sure your shifter on the bar is shifted down to your smallest at the rear, so your 11. Make sure you've clicked it all the way down before you hook the cable up, and also make sure that your barrel adjuster on the back of the shifter there is wound right in to the stop, and then just wind it out half a turn before you hook this cable up. So when you've got the cable, what you want to do is pull on it as hard as you can towards the front of the bike. So you can either hold it in your hand, wrap it around your hand, or get a pair of pliers and hold the far end where you're not going to be using the cable, so you need to cut it to length. But so hold up here with a pair of pliers. So you just get, if you get a pair of pliers, all you do is hold the cable up there like that, just pinch it like that, then you can just hold it tight towards the front of the bike, and at the same time when you're doing that, it's just pinch that down. Like so. So that's the cable installed, so we can move on to the next step. So now we've got the cable hooked up, we're not going to bother putting the chain on there at the moment. What you want to do next is, if you look directly down from above, so you've got the 11 tooth there, you can see the guide wheel down there. Looking, it's hard to show it on camera, but if, with your own eyes and you stood there, if you're looking straight down from above, so you can see them lined up, because you know you set the limit screw, so this one should be still lined up with the 11 tooth like that. So then what you do is, I'll try and hold the camera and do it at the same time to show you. You go to your shifter and then click up a gear like that. It's a job to show you, but you can see that it's lined up there. Then you go another one there. You can see they're lined up. Now as you go further over, you might find that they just go out of line a little bit, like they might not be exactly lined up. You can go all the way across, shift all the way over like that, and shift right across, as you can see there. So you shift right across to your largest at the rear, and then just go behind and have a look, making sure that the guide wheel there is underneath the largest at the rear, which is smack underneath it like that. So you know then, without putting the chain on, that that's going to be in the right place. It's going to be in the right place there, because you just check that, and then you shift across and make sure they're in the correct place. Now if they're not, if they're just slightly out, all you do is go to your barrel adjuster, and then if you got your cable tight enough in the first place, and the barrel adjuster, like I said, you screwed it in and then wound it out half a turn, then you can go to your barrel adjuster, and then if you're looking directly from above like I just was a minute ago, so I'll just click that down again like that, just to show you, so you can see there. Then you click over. If you're going across the cassette and you see that they're not quite, as you start going across, they might not be dead in line, they might need adjusting, where you can take that adjustment out that you need with your barrel adjuster. So just wind it, obviously you wound it clockwise, then you wound it out a little bit, so you want to wind it anti-clockwise, and then all you're doing then is moving that you're just taking the slack out of the cable and it's just moving over so they line up like that. That's all you're doing. So you just wind it out a little bit, then you can go and just check the next one like that, make sure it's right underneath it like that, and go across, check this unline. So you can just check them just to make sure that you can check it obviously with the chain on, but if you do this, then when you put the chain on, you know that they're going to be in line before you even bother putting the chain on there. So it's just easier to do that, and then when you get the chain, you put the chain on, then you could probably shift up and you'll find that they're all absolutely perfect straight away. They might need a little bit of adjustment, but they won't need a lot. So that's just a simple way of doing it. You don't even need to put the chain on to start with and try and adjust your barrel adjuster and everything and pedal in and try and adjust it. You can just look down from above and make sure they're lined up. So what we do now, we just get the chain on there and then we'll check it. So we got the chain on there now. So what we want to do then is just shift across again to your largest at the rear, whatever you got on there, so you can set the B screw if it needs adjusting. So I'll just shift up. Now we've got the chain on to the largest. Right, so as you can see there, shifted up all the way to the top. No issues at all there. All we've done is put the chain on. No need to make any adjustments, so we just made them before, so it's working as it should without touching anything. So what I'll do now, I'll just quickly show you the B screw adjustment. So the B screw is that middle one there, not the high and low, the one in the middle. So we'll just alter that if we have to. So now we're on the largest at the rear. Now this depends on what you've got on there. If you've got 46 or 42 or 40, you may need to adjust this gap. So the B screw, just again, that's the one in the middle at the back, that adjusts the gap between the guide wheel and the teeth of the largest sprocket. So you don't want the gap too big or too small. Too small, it'd be fouling up and it won't go across onto the largest sprocket. It'll just get stuck. And then too big, if the gap's too big, it'll affect the downshift when you're coming back down the cassette. So you need the gap there just nice, so about 6mm gap, something like that, so as the chain's passing cleanly between the two. So if you just back pedal like that, it should, as you see, the chain runs off there onto the guide wheel like that. So that's ideal what you want it, so when you're pedaling like that, it's just coming off, running between there nice, as you can see. Now, so to adjust that, what that is a screw just there in the middle there, and if you turn that screw clockwise, what it does is it makes the gap bigger, so it moves the guide wheel further away from the largest sprocket. If you move it anti-clockwise, it closes the gap up, makes the gap smaller. So if you've got a larger cassette on there, you may have to adjust that B screw clockwise to get that guide wheel away with the chain on, so there's enough clearance there, so it's just running through there nicely, it's not getting fouled up or anything. So once you're happy with everything, you shift up and down a few times just to double check it, then you can cut your cable to length. So all we'll do is just snip that off and then crimp on your stop on the end of the cable there, just stop it fraying. Just put that on there. Just crimp that on in position there. Don't leave too long a bit sticking out there, just in case it it gets fouls up with your spokes or anything, so you don't want it too long. So I hope you found the video helpful. If you did, remember to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel for more cycle related content. Till next one, ride safe and I'll see you then.